What's up, familia? Welcome inside the pad. Hope you guys are doing good. Keep it between the lines. Got your load secure. Okay. Um. So I was checking out MOD's channel right the other day, man. And for anybody who's like really interested in like gangs in Southern California, go check him out, man. Um. He's doing a lot with that. I know some people kind of criticize and they're like, hey, man, you missed this gang, you missed that gang, you got this wrong or you got that wrong. But you know what, man? That's going to happen, man. There's a lot to cover. He's covering a lot, so things like that are going to happen, man. And, I'm not tripping over it. You know what I mean? But, anyway, he made a video talking about county dissing. I guess a couple of vatos were getting on the comments and dissing other counties, whether it be LA County or San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange County, San Diego, whatever it may be, right? Because that was a thing, once upon a time, man, and probably still kind of is, right? And not just county, but even area, like being from LA County, right? There's different areas, homie. It could be from the harbor area, the east side, the San Gabriel Valley, the west side, South LA, man, from San Fernando Valle, et cetera, right? But he says something on there that that really caught my attention, right? He said that once upon a time, LA and IE, really didn't like each other, right? And it made me remember a couple of things, man. It struck a light in my head, man, because I know a lot about that. I was there. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys, just from my point of view, homie. Maybe somebody else can speak on this and their story will be different. Okay. Like always, it doesn't mean somebody's right, somebody's wrong, somebody's telling the truth, somebody's lying, homie. This is just from my experience. All right. Like I said, I've lived all over the place, man. Well, not all over the place, but I lived in a lot of places. Okay. And I did live in the Inland Empire. IE stands for the Inland Empire. Okay. Which is San Bernardino, Rialto, Colton, Ontario, Fontana, so all that, man, and so much more, so many other cities. Okay, it's east of LA County, once you pass Pomona and stuff. So anyway, um, sometime, sometime in the '90s, right? Uh, a lot of people from LA County moved east, man, to the Inland Empire, to some of these, other cities and stuff like that. For whatever reason, maybe, to get away from the desmadre that was happening in LA, or just because it was more affordable, which I believe was the main reason, right? It was just more affordable to go east, right? And it was a little cheaper. You get a little bit more bang for your buck. And at some point, um, we ended up moving out there as well. But a lot of people that moved out there were from barrios, homie, from LA and stuff like that, and not necessarily so many just barrios, man, but just vatos from LA, man. Because there, you know what? There's homies, man, that aren't from actual gangs. They ain't actual gang bangers, but they're down with the business. They're about the street life, man. I got homies like that too, man, and they're about that business, right? So anyway, so a lot of people were moving into a lot of these cities in the IE and stuff. And when you just think about like high school and stuff like that, right? Some of these vatos were going in there, and a lot of vatos, man, a lot of homies, man, from LA kind of went with this attitude, this bravado, right? Of like, I'm from LA, homie, where the real gangbangers are at, right? I'm not gonna lie, man. I went there with that attitude as well. Okay. And a lot of these other, a lot of these other cities, man, already had gangs. Okay. And some of these gangs were pretty old school, man. Especially if you're talking about like San Bernardino and stuff like that. Some of these gangs, man, have been around for decades. All right. Some of these gangs are old school gangs. And like always, familia, I'm not gonna name gangs on here. Okay, I'll name areas, but I ain't gonna name gangs. If you guys want to know the gangs, like I said, hey, go check out MOD, homie. He's covering all these counties and stuff. All right. So anyway, man. So vatos from LA, man. Again, this is just my experience, right? Showed up, and they had this attitude of like, we're real gangbangers, homie. We're from the big city, we're from LA, straight out, man. And that's the kind of attitude they went to the IE with, right? And they would start tagging up their barrio, man, and putting like big LA and everything like that. Okay. And these other barrios, man, in the IE, homie, they weren't having it. Okay, they weren't having it at all, man. So at some point, some vatos from LA were catching beatdowns. Okay, the vatos from IE will be putting hands on vatos from LA, man. It's like, you come over here disrespecting and this and this and that, man, and they're catching beatdowns, man. So at some point, what had happened was anybody and everybody that was from LA clicked up. Okay, became like its own ride, its own car. There were there were a few barrios, man, that recruited, and they started their own little clique of their barrio from LA. So a little bit here and there, but it wasn't the numbers that the LA cliques had. It didn't matter where you were from, homie. It didn't matter where you were from. Okay, there are homies from South Central, San Fernando, the SGV. It didn't matter where you were from. The East Side, homie, Montebello, Downey. It didn't matter where you were from. If you're from LA, you clicked up. Everybody clicked up. And it became like your own gang, It became like your own kind of barrio and stuff like that, right? And once that happened, thus began the war. The LA-IE war, the IE-LA war, whatever the heck you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. But now let me go ahead and say this. Was there a war going on everywhere? No. All right. I lived in Rancho Cucamonga. There was no war going on there. Okay. I lived in Upland. There was no war going on there that I know of. Okay. I never saw or heard of anything going on. Places like Ontario, homie. Ontario's an old school city, dog. Ontario's a very proud city, LA never really got like a strong foothold in Ontario. So I had heard, and it was just kind of known, like Ontario didn't like LA, gangs from LA and stuff like that. But I didn't hear of any war going on in Ontario between LA and IE, okay? At least not to the volume like it was going on in, say, San Bernardino. I heard it was going down in Colton. Fontana, for damn sure, was going on in Fontana. Um, a couple, Rialto, I'm not really sure, man. I'm not really sure. I never really hung out in Rialto or anything like that. I didn't really hear anything that was going on in Rialto. I mean, there's gangs and gang banging in Rialto. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if that was a thing in Rialto. Okay, like it wasn't some of these other places that I just mentioned. And and yeah, man, it was definitely a thing, homie. It was definitely a thing. You know, gang banging was really going on between homies in LA and homies from IE and stuff, man. And anybody during that time, anybody that moved from LA to the Inland Empire, especially in some of these cities, man, like Fontana or something, uh they walked right in, they moved right into a war, man. And immediately they would click up with the LA vatos, man. And San Bernardino as well, man. San Bernardino it was on, man. And you would go to like the Fontana indoor swap meet, right there on Sierra. And you would find jerseys that has Los Angeles on it. And in that same store, you would find jerseys that have an Empire on it, right? Because you'd be repping that. That was a big thing, man. It was. It was a big thing. Myself, along with other homies, man, we'd be wearing jerseys with Los Angeles on it and hats and beanies with the LA on it and everything, right? You were repping that more than you were your own barrio. Straight out, man. You were just repping Los Angeles, man, more than you were your actual hood. That's how you got down. But wearing all that stuff made you a target as well. It definitely made you a target, man. And like I said, it was a real thing, man. You could ask around and stuff, man. It was on and banging, man. And for those that know me would tell you that once upon a time, man, I hated IE. I hated them, man, because even though I lived in IE, on the weekends I would go and kick it kick in the barrio, either there or I would go to Bowen Park, because once upon a time I lived in Bowen Park as well. And I met some cool homies that I'm still cool with till this day, man. They're good homies of mine. But yeah, on the weekends I go kick it either at one spot or the other. Rarely did I ever stay out where I lived in the IE, And yeah, man, I hated IE, man. I did, man, like big time, right? But I'll tell you this, okay? I'll take this time right now to go ahead and give a shout out to the Inland Empire, man. Because there's some good, solid homies out there, man. Straight out. No ands if or buts about it, dog. All right. This whole thing, man, about like, oh, you know what, from LA, right, from the city and everything like that, and going at least at that time. At least at that time. And I ain't gonna speak for anybody else. I'll just speak for myself. Me going out there with that attitude of like, oh man, I'm from the big city, homie. You know what I mean? I can't do it like me. Nah, homie, that ain't it. That ain't it, man. Okay? They got some straight gang bangers, dog. And a lot of these barrios, homie, are straight proud barrios, dog. And they've been around for a long time. And they've been banging just as hard, just as long as anybody else. And I got I got nothing but love and respect for the Inland Empire, man. Okay, I can only speak about places that I know. Okay, San Bernardino, homie, straight banging, dog, straight banging. All right, Colton, straight banging too, dog. You know, Riverside, I never lived in Riverside. My brother used to live in Riverside, man. I used to go over there and visit him. Hey, man, Riverside's got some straight killers, man. Straight killers. You know, Fontana, man. Shout outs to Fontana, man. Serio, on the real, man. Nothing but love and respect to Fontana, man. Ontario, man. Hey, nothing but love and respect to Ontario, man. Like I said, that's an old, proud city, man. Serio. And yeah, man. You know what? It just that little war that went on, man. You know, it destroyed a lot of people's lives, man. Took lives. There's some homies that caught some serious cases over it, man. All right. I got a homie, man, that's doing all day because of, you know, that war that was going on. And it was no joke, man. It was a real thing. That war was a real thing. I don't think it's a thing anymore, familia. At least I don't hear about it anymore. I think that's kind of calmed down, which, you know, which is a good thing. You know, I hope it has. I got nothing but love and respect for the IE, homie. You know, them homies do it right. Those homies do it right. You know, so I just think it's forgotten. I think it is. I don't hear anybody talk about it anymore. Probably there's still some pleito with like I said, there were very few gangs that started up like a little clique in some of these areas and stuff, and they're still around, and you know, they probably still get it on and stuff like that. But that's more like gang banging, right? Where this was a different animal. You know, this LAIE thing was a different animal, man. And you know, it was some of the most hardcore gang banging, man, that you know, that I've seen and witnessed. And all I could say, man, you know, if that's not a thing anymore, I'm glad it's not. I'm glad it's not. Okay? Shout outs to the Inland Empire, man. Serio. And this is coming from a guy, man, who really, really spoke badly about the IE, man. You know, once upon a time. But I got nothing bad to say, man. I got nothing but great things to say. Solid homies out there, man. Straight out, homie. All right? So nothing but love and respect to them vatos, man. And love and respect to my homies, man, in that late too, man. You know? So that little war, man, it tore a lot of vatos apart, man. Serio, man. And it sucks, you know, it was a sad thing, man. But yeah, familia, if you guys ask around, man, you guys might hear a little bit about it here and there, man. It was a real thing. It was a real thing, and I think it's just kind of forgotten about and just like swept under the rug, and like it never existed. But it did. It did. But that's about it, familia. Hey, as always, live your life like you're on the road. Be aware of your surroundings and always keep a safe distance. Blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. Till next time, this is Ed the Cholo Trucker. Over and out.